The Peru face pillars, the night terrors of Alto Nane. Deep in the emerald heart of the Peruvian Amazon, the jungle never truly sleeps. The air is thick with humidity and whispers of something inhuman prowling in the night. In August of 2023, the villagers of Alto Nane reported a terror unlike anything they'd faced before. Men in black. Floating creatures. Shining eyes. And the most disturbing of all, victims whose faces appeared peeled away. Locals called them Los Pelecaras, the face pillars. To some, they were organ traffickers. To others, government agents. But to those who saw them up close, they were not human at all. Tonight, on Mysteries from the Orb, we journey into the deep jungle, where fear, folklore, and the unknown collide. It began quietly, as many nightmares do. In the small riverside community of San Antonio de Pintuco, near the Nane River in northeastern Peru, strange lights were seen moving above the treetops. Locals thought they were drones, perhaps mining survey equipment, until the lights descended lower. Villagers reported hovering shapes, silent, metallic, reflecting the moonlight. Then came the sounds, a high-pitched hum, followed by screaming in the darkness. A 15-year-old girl, Talia, claimed she was attacked while walking home at night. She described a tall being in black armor, with what looked like a golden mask and glowing orange eyes. The creature tried to grab her face, pressing something cold against her skin. She escaped only because villagers heard her cries and fired shots into the air. The attacker, they said, floated away. Within days, fear spread through the Amazonian villages. Elders said the face pillars were back, ancient beings who, according to legend, steal human fat and skin for dark rituals or trade them with outsiders. One night, dozens of men gathered with hunting rifles and flashlights. The jungle echoed with shouting and the buzz of insects as they combed through the trees. Then, near the river, they found footprints, but not human ones. They were deep impressions, perfectly circular, like a suction mark from something mechanical. Soon after, a local leader named Jairo Rojas gave an interview that went viral across social media. He said,
"These beings are not from here. They are like armored beings with helmets. Bullets do not hurt them. They float. They have round shoes that let them rise."
Government officials dismissed it as hysteria, calling it confusion over illegal gold miners using jetpacks or mechanical suits. But those who lived there knew no miner could hover silently in the night. Then came the most shocking discovery. A young man was found unconscious by the riverbank. His face, partially stripped of skin, yet with no animal bite marks. The cuts were too clean, surgical. Villagers panicked, calling the police and priests. In their desperation, they revived an old belief that Los Pelecaras were servants of the Pixtocos, mythical fat harvesters said to have haunted the Andes for centuries. The Pixtocos were once described as white men who stole human fat for lubrication, candles, or trade, a myth rooted in colonial trauma. But these new entities, the villagers said, were different, faceless, floating, and metallic. One elder whispered,
"The Pixtocos have evolved. They don't come with knives now, they come with machines."
As fear grew, Peru's navy was dispatched to the area. Helicopters hovered over the river settlements, and patrols moved through the dense foliage. But instead of reassurance, their arrival brought silence. Villagers said the soldiers warned them not to speak to the press. Still, smartphone videos leaked online. A blurry clip showing a luminous orb drifting above the trees. Another showing men running through the jungle, shouting Vahi Esther. There it is. and a haunting sound, a mechanical hiss echoing between the trees, followed by a scream. When journalists tried to visit, locals told them to leave before nightfall. The villagers claimed the military was covering up the truth, that something non-human was being haunted in the jungle. And when reporters asked for official statements, the government blamed illegal miners using jet-propelled backpacks. But those who lived there swore, "We know miners. We see them all the time. These things had no faces, and they flew." Terrified, the communities began organizing night watches. Men with flashlights, machetes, and hunting rifles patrolled the edges of their villages, guarding their families from whatever lurked beyond the trees. One night, a man named Luis Pinedo claimed he saw a tall silver figure gliding toward his house. He fired his shotgun, point blank. The pellets bounced off. The figure turned its head slowly, releasing a faint metallic buzz, then shot upward into the dark sky. The next morning, Luis found a small piece of black metallic material embedded in a palm tree. He showed it to others, but when the authorities came, they confiscated it, saying it was classified evidence. The villagers began to believe they were being haunted, not by criminals, but by machines or entities collecting something from them. One rumor said the creatures were harvesting collagen and fat for biotech experiments. Another claimed they were alien harvesters gathering samples of human tissue. And the most disturbing of all, that they weren't attacking at random. They were testing. Anthropologists studying the case pointed to older Amazonian legends about sky beings descending in orbs of light. The Shipibo Canibo people told stories of Yakirunas, water spirits who could appear as humans but whose eyes shone red. Others believed these were guardians of the forest, punishing humans for destroying nature. But skeptics insisted it was mass hysteria, fueled by social media and superstition. Still, what about the burn marks, the clean wounds, the witnesses describing levitating attackers? Even the police admitted, off record, that their men saw something moving faster than any human could. By late August, reports emerged of missing villagers, mostly hunters who ventured deep into the forest. Their boats were found adrift, engines running. But no trace of them. Some said they'd been taken by the pillars. Others thought they'd fled in fear. The truth remains unknown. A few survivors claimed to have seen a large dark craft hovering silently above the river before dawn, then vanishing straight up into the clouds. After that, the attack suddenly stopped. The jungle fell silent again. But no one dared go out after dark. To this day, no one has proven what the face pillars of Peru truly were. The official story says illegal miners with jetpacks, though no such devices were ever found. Others believe it was a cover-up of extraterrestrial contact, or worse, biological experimentation in the Amazon. Perhaps it was fear itself that gave shape to the darkness, a fusion of ancient legend and modern paranoia. But the scars are real. The fear was real. You've been listening to Mysteries from the Orb. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, remember, the truth hides in the shadows, and the orb sees all. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what comes next.